attracted you first?
Well, Phantom.
Phantom was one?
Yeah, because
really?
the music, it's funny because I've always trained vocally with the Phantom. You know, in my shower or in my living room, and it's so funny because, and suddenly when I heard about that, my agent, Bruce Dean, called me from here, from Toronto. I was in Montreal, and he said, Rene, well, maybe you're going to have to audition for the Phantom. I said, wow, that's great. I've always loved this music. I think it talks a lot, you know, even if you don't hear the words.
Right.
I think, you know, it's just so it's incredible how life is.
Now, on your way to doing the Phantom, you did another musical, a very interesting project that we never got to see in Toronto, both in English and French. A musical about Joan of Arc,
Joan
right?
of Arc, yeah. That was such a... The cast was wonderful. The cast was great. I think the pressure was too hard because we did it both in French and English, and we didn't have that many previews before the opening night. We had two English shows before and 3 French shows.
Right.
And then we opened. So I think that was a little mistake, and yes, I think they lost a lot of money. But you know, after Montreal, we had time to go, because it was a work in progress.
Right.
So we had time to go back, after Montreal, to go back and rehearse some more and to change things around. And then we went to Quebec City. And then the show was so wonderful. We had wonderful reviews. And it was, the box office was, you know, packed.
Were you doing it
night.
still in French and English, or just in French?
Just in French.
Just in French at that point.
Yes, that point.
And the experience of it, people will leave nameless, who are famous Americans came up to work on it.
Yes.
Was that part of the problem, that there was all of this Canadian talent and then a couple of Americans coming in to work?
Well, I think in some ways we had to get adjusted to it. Like, but it was, I had no problem. I had no problems with it. I think people have been really nice to me, and I worked really hard on that project. And if I had to do it all over again, I would do. You know, I would do it. So in my head, it's not a bad memory. It's wonderful. And we had so many problems with it. I didn't know I liked musicals so much.
So you have to know how tough it is before you know you really like it.
Yes, and here I just, you know, come in a machine that works perfectly in Phantom of the Opera. So it's just like, it's holiday season, you know, it's just great. I'm on vacation. Well, we're working really hard on the part, but, you know, businessly speaking, I think it's wonderful.
Let me go back in your career a bit. After, you mentioned that after you had the English TV show, you went back to Quebec.
Yeah.
And most of your work has been in Quebec since then. Was that a deliberate choice from you?
Well, yes, because I hosted so many variety shows in Quebec, and I haven't stopped in Quebec, which is funny because in Quebec, when I walk on the street, people, you know, say,
everybody knows you, yeah.
And here, they recognize me, you know, when I pay with my credit card. Are you the guy
That's
we
like
used on TV? We used to see on TV, you know. So it's funny. Yeah, it's completely different. But I haven't stopped, you know, working in Quebec, and it was good because I had to be close to my children. And now they understand what kind of business I'm in, so I just can fly a bit further, you know.
Right. Do you find even in Quebec, are you still trying to get away from the Petit Simard? I mean, does he still haunt you?
Yeah, he haunts me more there than here. And, but I don't mind it. But the problem is I have to work so hard because, you know, when you have a high voice, oh, and then you go,
right,
it's completely different. And no, very often people, you know, they tell me, well, we used to have your records. Oh, you were so wonderful, and you were so, you were, you know. So it's all pastime. It's so funny because they don't know what they're saying. But sometimes I feel kind of sad about it. I say, well, what do they think about me now?
Right.
But, you know, I think I'm okay now because I'm still hosting shows. I'll be hosting a, like, People's Choice Award show. They have about, it's almost 2 million viewers. See, that is something so interesting about Quebec and the English side of Canada, ratings.
Yes.
You know, we have huge ratings, but I do understand your problem is Canada is English speaking and USA is just next to it. So
but there
you
are
have
often
to
like
deal with
shows you will do in
Yes.
Quebec on television will get more people watching than watch, for example, the entire CBC in all of English Canada.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
You know, it's, that is amazing to me. It is incredible.
Well, the other thing I want to talk about that this is like, I came back and a couple of years ago I started telling people about other Quebec songwriters and Quebec performers they've never heard of. Do you know most of English Canada had never heard of like Luc Plamondon, for example, or Starmania, or all those, like Judith Bérard, who was with you in Joan of Arc, and all these other great performers, they they're superstars in Quebec, and they're unknown in English Canada. Why do you think?
Well, I think they're going to be known because they do so much work. Like Starmania was done in England by so many people, like Tom Jones, Cyndi Lauper, and everything. So, but it didn't work that well. But I think Notre-Dame de Paris, the hatchback of Notre-Dame, has to. I think it's going to be a great success, even in English language. They're coming pretty soon here in Toronto,
yes,
of course.
Yep.
And I think it's a question of time. I think it's a question of time. Well, see what happened with Céline Dion. She wasn't known before. But,
That's it.
You know, the past 5 years she's been, you know, at the top. And it's great just to see her. It's such a motivation for every one of us.
But what about the kind of music? Do you find that the songs that the Quebecois audience like are different than the songs that the English-Canadian audiences like?
I don't know. I think when it comes from the heart, everything crosses over. I think, I don't know, some of course, you know, if you talk about folklore and if you talk about, you know, it's different. But I don't know, when people feel there's, it comes from, you know, the heart, I think it.
And the other thing is, when you were accepted in English Canada,
yes.
When you went back to Quebec, did people say, why were you off playing with Les Anglais for a while?
Well, it happened, you know, but these people, I think they should understand that I'm in show business. I'm not doing any politics, you know, so I think the day that I'll want to be in politics, I will go and, but now I'm just trying to go as far as I can in my own way and in a singing career, and it has no language there.
What about songwriting yourself?
I don't know. That's going to take a lot of time. I don't know. I think I'm not ready for it. I'm too afraid to show my real feelings, I think.
Really?
Yes, I think so.
What wouldn't you want to put into a song? Let's talk about that.
I don't know. Talk about my life, talk about my children, talk about, you know, but it sounds so corny.
No, it's not. I mean...
no, I don't know. Maybe one day, you know. I always say, because my children, like I told you, hearing impaired, the first thing they taught me is to listen, you know. I think we have to listen, and the more I'm going to listen, maybe the more I'm going to have ideas and to write songs. And
some of the television shows that you're the artistic director for in
yes.
Quebec, do you ever have a vision for a new kind of television or a new kind of entertainment? What would you like to see if you were the big boss of the whole network? What would you do?
I would love to see a good, great, you know, variety show. I think we don't have that anymore.
But there's more in Quebec than more in Quebec than there are in English Canada.
Well, now they have talk show variety talk show. So you know, they call it variety talk show, and I don't agree with that. You know, that concept. I think a variety should be a variety, and a talk show should be a talk show. Well, you could have some songs in it and everything, you know, and talk about your shows you're going to be doing, but I think a real variety show, you know, with the sets and that's, you know, maybe it sounds old to you, but we could make it in a modern way. And I think, I know it costs a lot of money. It's always a question of money, but that's what I'd really love to do.
Do you try to keep up with the newest music and to listen to what everybody is listening to, or do you have your own kind you like?
No, I think I'm going to say something real bad now. I don't listen to music that much. I listen to musicals, and sometimes I just want to keep quiet. I just want to hear silence. I just want to hear my children breathe, and
right.
I want, see, I've done up till now 47 albums. I just need a break. I don't know, and I don't feel like doing another album, you know, in the near future. I just need a break. That's all I need.
But you're not doing a break from performing,
funny for me to say this,
right?
Pardon?
But you're not doing a break from performing.
No,
you're
at
doing
all.
Phantom.
No, because that excites me. Because I really feel that I'm doing something good for me. You know, inside of myself, I just feel myself grow when I do these kind of happening.
Once you've done Phantom for a while in Toronto in English, would you want to do Phantom in French in Quebec?
Well, they asked me about it, so we'll know. It would be interesting. I would love to do it in French. But of course, at the same time, if we can do it both languages like we did for Joan of Arc, would be wonderful in Quebec.
What about the other problem, which is touring? Like, let's say you make a big success as Phantom here, and Phantom is still selling very well all over North America and the world. If they say, Rene, we want you to go down to San Francisco and play the Phantom, or we want you to go to New York and play the Phantom, and take you away from your family for a while, would you do that?
We'll cross the bridge when we'll get to it. That's what we always say, my wife and I. We'll see, and it's wonderful because Livent takes really good care of me, because I have an apartment here with 2 bedrooms, and so whenever my children want to come and my wife, they're welcomed, and they really take good care of me.
Also, after Phantom, who else do you want to play? What other parts?
I really don't know. I don't know. I just love to work on new things. I don't want to look ahead. I would like to play in Les Miserables. That is something that I would love to do.
What is it about that appeals so much? Is it the heart again?
The heart, yeah. Everything is a question of, heart, and I don't know. Truthness is so important, and I think Les Miserables is such a wonderful story, the Victor Hugo ones.
We're come back to Phantom. Do you have a favorite part of it? I mean, when you're now that you're working on it, what touches your heart the most?
The end. Because he doesn't know anymore what he's doing, and he's out of control, and he hates it.
Why do you think he gets so out of control?
Because he doesn't know how to deal with love. He doesn't know. He has never felt that feeling before. And so that's why I think, and I had to explore so many avenues working with Barbara Smith. And one time I cried because I went too far away. See, that's the kind of work you have to do to know where you can go.
Right.
And then you have to go back. You shouldn't go that far. Yeah. And then so it's just a question of trying to understand the role of the Phantom, and that's why he's so confused at the end, and he lets go Christine and Raoul and say, go now and leave me, because he knows that there's no way out, and he goes back to his darkness. And
well, that's the next thing I was going to ask you. What do you think happens to him? He vanishes into that chair and leaves the mask behind.
He goes back into you, my dear, because we all have a little phantom inside of ourselves. That's what I think.
So that's what he does.
We all have a secret garden inside of ourselves.
What about the rumor that Andrew Lloyd Webber is writing a Phantom sequel where he comes back? Have you heard about this?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Do you think the Phantom should come back?
I really don't know. I'm sure that if Mr. Andrew Lloyd Webber wants to do Phantom 2, it's because he's got such a great idea.
The audience has always been important to you, right?
Oh, of course. Of course.
What is it about performing for the live audience that you love so much still after all these years?
To feel that you make them happy, and I don't know, you just to feel to be loved, to be is such a wonderful feeling. It's that is the greatest gift I can get in my professional life.
It's also a gift you've been giving us for many years, and we hope you keep doing it. Rene Simard, thank you for being here today.
Well, such a pleasure.
Nice
really
to talk to you.
Yeah, thank you. See you again.
See you again. For Dialogue, I'm Richard Ouzounian. Goodbye for now.
Stay tuned for Diplomatic Immunity after this break.